Thank you for joining us. Katerina and I are going to share with you some very exciting information about motion arts basketball styles. And this is something that only Rimpage is doing. Only Rimpage has developed a classification method so that we can analyze any player and determine that player's motion arts style. We analyzed the 8 players who will be competing in the Dicas Pro so that we could understand their playing styles. And Katerina, tell me about that experience for you so far of learning these player styles.
Well, we say we, but it is you who has invented this brilliant method of categorizing these different styles. And it literally has opened my eyes. I see the game in a completely different way now. I'm looking for these typical moves that each style player who adopts a certain style naturally would play. And then it's lovely also to see elements of different styles mixed in there when they put under pressure. So
Yes,
I love
yes,
it. I love it.
yes. Do you have a favorite so far, or one that you enjoy watching more than others?
Yes.
Let's talk about them and explain them, and then
That,
everyone who's watching will be able to understand what we're talking about, and maybe they'll decide on a favorite as
yes.
well. Okay.
Excellent.
So, of the 8 players, we have Ashton Cook, who's the #1 in the league, who will be competing against Spencer Rowe, who is the #1 player in Fort Worth. And then we have Zach Carter. Zach represents the city of Garland, and he will be competing against Jazare Harrington, who represents the city of Dallas. And then we have Chris Lee, also representing the city of Dallas, who will be competing against Chris Jalbert, who is the #1 player in the city of Frisco. And then we have Marcus Billiard, also of Dallas, competing against Keyshawn Reed of
Mhm.
Dallas. So we've analyzed each of these players. Katerina, any surprises that have come out of the research so
Yes,
far that you can think of?
yes, yes. So everything was a surprise. Because when once
Hmm.
we put this lens and looked at their play through this lens of different styles, I think there were elements of surprise everywhere, and then there were also elements of like, yes, that makes perfect sense. Right?
That's a great term, a lens, because that's exactly what motion arts basketball styles enables us to do is watch this game through a different lens so we see it a different way. We know that every player's objective is to score and to stop their opponent from doing the same thing. But what the motion art styles shows us is that they go about it in different ways,
Yes,
ways that we can analyze and categorize and systematize and then understand. And then it just, I think, expands our appreciation of the game and
absolutely.
also creates some intrigue because no
Hmm,
one is out there teaching these guys these styles. How did they learn this? How did they pick this up? Maybe from watching their favorite player.
absolutely.
That would be interesting to research and to learn too, because they're
Exactly.
from different places, but
Mhm.
they seem to fall into these categories.
Yes. And you also have a feeling, distinct feeling that when they are in their own groove, meaning when they play that style, it looks like
Yeah.
that is natural to them. It looks like they
Yes.
score more when they play that,
Yes.
which is their
Yes.
preferred or natural style.
Well, we're going to get into it. We want to show you the playing style of each of those 8 Dicas Pro athletes and then give you some examples, and then you'll see them in a different way. I also want to explain a little bit about the classification method that we use to determine their styles. So there are 9 different areas of play that we look at to determine a player's style. Let's start with Chris Jobert. So I'm going to share my screen so we can see Chris Jobert in action. We'll see a match he played just recently against
Mhm.
Jay Knight. Chris's style is called Gen Cora, and some of the prominent features of this style are the theme for them, for their style, the key word is efficiency. They don't waste actions, they don't waste dribbles. They have favorite spots on the court that they like to shoot from. When they dribble, they don't do a whole lot of dribbling through the legs and stuff. They're decisive. They pick a direction, they go in that direction, and when they go in that direction, they're going to shoot the ball. You won't see a whole lot of going side to side, in and out, backwards and forwards. They're very decisive, very efficient players. We're going to see that with Chris Gilbert, who has the ball right now. So he's in the red jersey. Notice Notice there's not even, when I said efficient, look, there's not even a lot of the rocking back and forth that a lot of players will do sometimes, faking here, faking there, and then they put up a shot. He's just still, and then a shot comes up out of that. Look at that, just still, and then suddenly a shot comes out of that. Efficiency, and that spot right there, that 3 point or 4 point shot box there is one of Chris's favorite spots. He has shown that he has knockout power, meaning he can hit three of those and end the match in 3 rounds. He was the first player to do that when we introduced shot boxes. He won a match in 3.5 rounds, and then Ashton came later on and won in 3 rounds. So Ashton holds the record, but Chris was the first to do that. So he's definitely got knockout power, and that's one of his spots. So here he is in another possession. And this is what you'll see with Gen Cora. They have their favorite spots. They're not going to be all over the place. They're very efficient, very decisive. You'll see him. This is another sequence.
He wanted that shot.
Yes. Next possession. And the shot's not falling, but he trusts that shot. But you can see it here. He's got a favorite spot that he likes to shoot from. They'll typically have a couple, maybe 2 to 3 of those favorite spots, and they'll run their offense out of those spots. And there's the shot. For contrast, we'll see Jay's possession, and you'll see a difference in the styles and the preferences and how he goes about trying to score. I think already right there, he has dribbled more than Chris has the whole match in just those few seconds there. That's Gen Core. They do not waste dribbles. It's almost like they get charged for each dribble. They don't waste them. Some guys will dribble first and decide what to do. With Gen Core, they know what they're going to do and then they dribble. See, he's deciding on how he's going to attack, but while he's doing that, he's dribbling. See if we can get him going to the basket in one of these. There he goes. So as we watch him, I'll talk a little more about some of those factors that we look at to determine their style. One thing we look at is their spirit or their emotional temperature. I'll pause this real quick while I explain that. So some players are very emotionally expressive during their match. They may talk trash. When they miss a shot, they'll scream like something. You know those guys, they're loud. Emotionally, they're very expressive. And then other guys are somewhere in between. And then some guys are just silent. Whether they're winning or losing, you don't see a fist pump when they hit a shot. They're very subdued emotionally. And so that's one factor we look at. How expressive is this player when he plays? The next one is, what is their go-to offensive strategy? As we said, their intention is to score, but how does he most frequently go about trying to score? What is his preferred method of attack? And so some examples might be creating off the dribble. So this type, they want to put the ball on the floor and make something happen. They're trying to do something to you, fake you, make you get up in the air, make you get out of their way, break your ankle. That's one type, trying to create off the dribble. Another type dribbles for the purpose of getting to a spot so they can set up a shot. And then another type we call rolling downhill. With them is a whole lot of momentum. It's just like a burst of momentum. They move, they weave around you, almost like you're not even there, and then a shot comes up out of that. Another type is a type that works out of a sweet spot. This is a player who's really
Mhm.
effective in the post. They have a certain spot on the court that they like to operate from, and that's where they'll produce offense from that spot. So we're looking at how do they go about trying to score. The next one we look at is their dribble attack styles. When they do dribble, what is the purpose of that? This is something that's interesting to look at. When they finally do put the ball on the floor, ask yourself, what is he trying to do? Sometimes I'll do that when I'm analyzing their play, and sometimes you see some of the most random things. Like
Mm.
certainly he wasn't attacking when he did that, but he dribbled anyway. Why did he do that? And we'll see, especially with the swing rhythm players, it's about rhythm and
Yes,
pattern.
they get into the flow by doing that. With them,
Yes.
it's really they need it. Even a couple of dribbles, they get into the
Yes,
groove and
yes. And then the next thing we look at is their shooting arsenal.
mm,
There are many different types of shots. There's the quick pull up off the dribble, there's the turnaround jump shot, there's the fadeaway, there's the 1 foot fadeaway, there's the pull up where you don't dribble at all, you're holding it and then just suddenly you pull up for the shot. There's the running jumper, the running leaner, the floater, teardrop, baby hook, hook shot. There are all these different shots, and so what we look at is how proficient is a player shooting each of these shots? And the answer could be one, not observed, meaning we just hardly or never see him take that shot. Or maybe average effectiveness. They take the shot, but they're not as effective with it, or sometimes they take it, but sparingly. And then all the way up to 5, which is excellent, which means they've really dialed in that
mhm,
particular shot. It's a favorite of theirs, and they're skilled at it. They can hit that shot. So we look at that and we score them on each one of these. And then what we do is keep the 4s and 5s. Those are the shots that they're best at. So if you think of each shot as a weapon, then these are the weapons that are in their arsenal that they can use to attack with. And then we look at range. How big a threat are you from these different ranges? When you're under the basket, whether you're playing in the post or you've driven to the basket for a dunk or layup, how effective are you down there? And then in the mid range, inside of the 2 point line, how effective are you there? And then at the 2 point line, and then the deep shots, those shot boxes, the 3 point shot box, 4 point shot box, and in that area. So we score you on how effective you are from each of those ranges. The next one is offensive versatility. This is a measurement of how well you train both sides of your body. So many players only train one side of their body. They can only drive to the right. They can only shoot with their right hand. Better players are the ones who are more versatile. And the next one is hero potential, is what we call that one. And this is a measure of how proficient are you at making the play that really matters. When you really need a score, when you really need a stop, can you get it? Some players do that better than others, and this is a measure of that. And then the killer instinct. Some
mm,
guys can get all the way up to 11, but they seem to have a problem getting that game clinching shot to go in. They can't close out matches. They can score all day, but when it
right.
comes to winning, they can't get it done. And the next one is how well do they rise to meet the moment? How well do they perform under pressure when it really matters? And so we score that on each player when we observe them. The next one is the edge or their effectiveness. What is it about this player that makes that shot go in, that makes them successful when they try to score, that makes them difficult to guard or difficult to stop? And that can be a lot of different things. Their quickness, their athleticism, how versatile they are, how many different shots they have. Like Jazz Ray has a lot of different shots he can hit you with, and so
And
that makes them
so
difficult to
does
stop.
Ashton as well.
Ashton,
Yeah,
yes, same
yeah,
thing. Has a
mm,
lot of different shots they can hit you with, so it's hard to predict
yeah.
what they're gonna come with. You stop one and they got you with the other.
Right.
And then the next one is body control. We're looking at how well do you control your body. Some guys are like a bowling ball rolling down the alley at bowling pins when they drive to the basket. It's just it's going to be a collision when they get there. And other guys are like a cat. They have a cat's agility or a monkey's agility or a small fish. Like these can dart side to side. That agility is just amazing to watch. And so we score that with each player. Those are the 9 different components we look at to
All of that goes into
yes.
the determining that one style. Hmm.
Yes, determining that one player's style. And I gotta tell you, it is fascinating.
It is.
It's fascinating.
And
I
it
want to
makes the
show.
game so much more interesting to watch when you have this understanding.
Yes,
Appreciation
yes. You
does.
can compare the styles.
Mm-hmm.
Here we're seeing another Jin Cora exponent. This is Chris Lee versus Vlad. Chris Lee in the number 9 Rimpage jersey. Watch the similarities. Here's Chris Lee on offense. So Chris Lee and the player we just saw, Chris Javert, they're both Jin Cora. Watch the similarities here. Efficiency, decisiveness. That's possession number 1 for Chris Lee.
And favorite spots?
Yep. Yep. Watch the pattern emerge.
Yes.
Notice what he's not doing. A whole lot of dribbling side to side, very
Mhm.
efficient, has his favorite spots. This is his second time. When he goes to the basket, not a lot of dribbling, very
No.
decisive,
Yeah.
straight motion, and he takes the shot. That's the key. He dribbles to the basket and takes the shot. Some guys dribble to the basket and come out and go
Yeah.
back and come out and side to side, all over the place. These Gen Core exponents are very decisive. When they go to the basket, you're going to see a shot come up.
That's it. They don't waste energy. And they're
Mhm.
not too much emotional expression. But,
Yes, yes. You can already see what his favorite spots are, those 2 wings.
yeah.
Look at it now. Here he is on the wing again. Doesn't matter that that guy is taller than him.
No.
And I'd like you to share too, Katharina. What do you appreciate about this particular style about the Jin Core?
I like that there is no wasted energy anywhere that's not needed. They really seem focused on their own game. And
Mm-hmm.
here we see with Chris Lee, I mean, usually he will play opponent who is shorter than him.
Yes,
He is facing somebody who's bigger than him. Like, look
yes,
how much bigger Vlad is, taller and
right,
bigger body wise.
yes,
But what we observed is that Chris did not alter his game at all.
yes,
So he
yes,
played Chris,
yes, yes,
and he won.
yes.
So
That's
yes.
true. Yeah.
Mhm.
Even against the shorter players, he plays that way.
Yes. So he's true to his style. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
seeing with him is consistency with this particular style. So he doesn't
Yes.
need, or we didn't see him at playing at pressure really to see him
Right.
go to different styles, be forced to use something else, some other strategy. But he's very efficient. That's
Yes. Yes.
absolutely true. How
Look how
about you?
clean.
Yeah,
What I
clean.
like is how clean their game is.
Yes.
They
Yes.
they make a decision and they do it. It- When they decide to go to the basket, you're going to see a shot come up. They're not going to go in and come back out and go in and come back out. So their game is very clean. And so when they have the skill that Chris Lee has and that Chris Jalbert has, it's entertaining to watch.
Absolutely.
It's
And
entertaining.
how interesting is that the two of them are playing against each other.
Yes,
So it's
yes,
really
yes. That's
yes,
going to be so interesting.
very interesting.
We're going to see Gen Cora versus Gen Cora.
Yes.
That's going to be a very clean game. Interesting.
I was surprised when you first told me when you analyzed their styles
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you just said their same style, and I was like, really? But then looking into deeper into their game and strategy and the way they play, they have different physicality about them.
Yes,
The
yes.
strategy and style is very much resembling each other.
So
Interesting.
interesting.
Mm,
That reminds me of Bruce Lee, who trained. Bruce Lee developed his own fighting style. He called it Jeet Kune Do, and he trained Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that same fighting style. Now here you have a man who's over 7 feet tall.
right.
He has the same style as a man who's under 6 feet tall, but it's the same style. How they use it, how they make it their own,
Yes.
is interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which one would you like to see next? Swing
Uh,
rhythm, bear dance.
yes, swing rhythm. Go for
Okay,
it.
here we go. Swing rhythm. And there's our swing rhythm expert.
Ooh, the
It's
king.
Jazzray Harrington. We call him the king of swing.
King of
Another nickname for Jazzray is Top Cat.
yeah,
You are in for a treat watching this guy do this style. Um,
very enjoyable to watch. Very.
yes.
And when he gets that rhythm, he's unbeatable, unstoppable. Mm.
That's the key word to that style is right there in the name. It's the rhythm. These guys have this internal rhythm that they have to maintain. They
Mm.
get into a flow. For
Yes.
them, it's not about the defensive player. It's about them and their own internal flow.
Flow.
And when
Absolutely.
they're in that flow, they can be very hard to stop.
Yes.
So while Razor is trying to break a defender down off the dribble, he's very much concerned with who's in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
With these internal rhythm guys, it's all about what's happening
Yes.
inside of them. And so
Yeah.
what you'll notice is this flowing sort of cadence to how they play. When they
Absolutely.
take a shot, they have to do 1, 2, 3 shot, 1, 2, 3 shot. There's this rhythm to it. And
Mhm.
when you watch them play enough, you'll pick up on those rhythms. And
Yep.
so then you might think, well, if there's a rhythm, then he's easy to stop because I know what he's about to do. But where they get you is when they break the rhythm. They
They,
break the rhythm.
they use the rhythm to get into their own
Yes,
flow. Then
yes,
they're dangerous. They can break the rhythm, they can do
yes,
something unpredictable and still
yes, and
score,
still
right?
do it. So
Right. It's
yes, so let's
brilliant.
watch. So Jazz Rays with the ball here on offense for those who don't know him. Now already look at already he's showing it. So remember Chris Lee how he's just or
Standing.
Chris J
Yeah.
just motionless and then suddenly a shot comes up. Don't waste dribbles. Look at how much he dribbles here. Immediately he just starts dribbling because it's about that rhythm. So he's
He
got to get
uses
into
it
his
to
rhythm.
get into the flow, right?
Here he goes. Side to side.
And just look
It's
at his versatility as well. In
yes,
like
yes,
you really cannot predict what he's going to do. With Chris Lee, we saw him go to the same
yes.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at the patterns.
Oh, that was
And
beautiful.
then when they break the rhythm, they can catch you off guard like that.
Mhm.
You're expecting this side to side, and they just go one side and go. Jazare's body control, he received the highest score possible for
Mhm.
that. He's got cat-like agility. So you mix that with that flow, and you get something that's really special to watch. The other thing that's unique about Jazray is his versatility. He can score on the left side of the floor as well as on the right side of the floor. He can shoot a layup with his left hand, a coordinated layup with his left hand, which is something a lot of guys cannot do in this league.
Yep. Variety of spots and variety of shots as well.
Yes,
Mm.
he's got more shots in his arsenal than most players in the league.
Yes.
See the rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
and then he goes. That's a shot at the basket with the left hand, and it's coordinated.
Yes. Yes. And I think that rhythm also helps him in defending, right? He
Mhm.
follows
Yes,
the opponent
yes, he
so
can
well,
mirror.
so well. He mirrors him. Hmm. Beautiful.
Hmm. What about this particular style? What do you like about this style?
I like also that player remains in control of his own. He uses this style to get in the flow. And I think when we
Yes,
in our natural flow, that's the most dangerous and unstoppable we can be in a
yes,
game. And I can see them using that to their advantage. So both players that we have in this top 8 set that have that rhythm, they use it and they win
Yes,
when
yes,
they lean into their natural rhythm. So, and it's also very pleasing to watch. It's very soothing to
yes,
watch,
yes,
to get into this rhythm with them.
yes.
Mm.
I think for me, it's that they teach us that there's a such thing as a flow that you can get into, and you're more effective when you're in flow.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something every player should give some thought to.
Mm.
How much better could I play if I got into this flow?
Mm.
The other thing that's interesting to me is when they take shots in rhythm, they tend to make them more. And
Yes.
so trying to understand why that is. Why
Yeah.
that's I'm curious about that. What is it that makes that more effective, make them
Mhm.
more accurate, shooting in rhythm like
Yeah,
that?
puts them at ease. Rather, as you said,
Mhm.
rather than whatever opponent is doing, they're just coming to themselves. They are aligning with themselves. They're more likely to score when they do that.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
Here's the other player who uses
Yeah.
swing rhythm, Keyshawn, and you'll really see it with him where it's like the defender doesn't matter. It's how does it feel? He wants it to feel right. When it feels right, he goes.
And it's working. They're number 2 and number 3 in the league.
Yes, yes.
It works.
Something to think about.
Yes.
Swing rhythm is at number 2 and number 3 in the league.
So being in the
Okay.
floor matters.
Yes. So Keyshawn is playing Kelly at Armstrong Park in Duncanville. This is our first tour when we went on tour, where we went to parks and challenged whoever we met. We met Kelly here, and so we challenged him. Okay, watch this. As soon as he gets the ball, it's like first thing to do is get into a rhythm, get into a flow, feel for it. It's like he's feeling for it.
Mhm.
See here, when he goes to the right, he doesn't just go to the right and pull up. You see those dribbles he does. That's kind of feeling for that
That's
rhythm, and then the
yes.
shot comes out of that rhythm. And it's interesting that it's an internal thing. It's something they have to
Mhm.
feel.
They tune into it. There is elegance and grace about it, and
Yeah.
just makes it, and especially because the accuracy improves the more they get into
Yes,
their flow.
yes, yes. Like this,
Yep,
like
that's it.
remember I said there's a pattern to the way they play. So when you see Keyshawn go right, go through his legs like that, you already know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You already know what's coming. Like same thing with Jazz Ray. When he does that thing, you know what's coming. That's the whole pattern and the whole cadence to their game, and it is pleasing to watch. And they're so effective.
Yes, yeah, it works for them very well.
Okay, this is Cody Little representing the city of Fort Worth versus Marcus Billiard. Marcus has the ball there with a blue shirt. Marcus's style was called Bear Den, and I have not analyzed Cody yet, but I think Cody is also Bear Den. And the key to this style is the setup. This style dribbles for the purpose of getting to a spot. So he's not trying to break his defender down. He's not dribbling to get into an internal rhythm. He's dribbling to set up a shot, a particular shot. Their attack style is also efficient. Not a whole lot of dribbling through the legs, dribbling around the back. They dribble for the purpose of getting to a spot
Mm-hmm.
to set up a shot. And sometimes they don't dribble at all. If that shot is there, they're
That's
going to take it. And that's
mhm.
that's Bear Den. And we've observed that the better players will have elements of maybe more than one style,
Yes, definitely.
but the elements of their own style are prominent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also not so much about or determining their style was more about looking at what they do when they get to do whatever they want to do, not
Yes.
so much what they do when the defense forces them into a position. How do
Absolutely.
they prefer to score? How are they most comfortable scoring?
Wow.
This is
That was a great
a
game.
classic Bear Den battle. Yes. So they're going to the break here. This was a very entertaining match to watch.
Very. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the break is over and they resume play. Again, when you're watching Bear Den, look for them to set up shots. You'll notice that pattern. There's a particular shot, maybe they've practiced 3 or 4 different shots and they set those shots up. See, he sets up the turnaround jumper, gets to the elbow,
And
turns his back to the opponent, has a few dribbles, and then gets into the shot. The key to success for this style is being skilled at those shots. Once you finally take the shot, you got to be able to knock it down. And then also is knowing how to set those shots up. There was one particular play Marcus did when he played against Daniel Dunn at the park, where he took him to that deep corner, that deep right baseline.
yes.
Oh, that was so beautiful, because that's a dangerous spot for your defender to be in. And he took him over there, and sure enough, he crossed over into the lane and scored. But that shot went in. That shot was successful because of the setup.
Yes.
And Marcus is good at setting you up. That's Bear Den. Also, when Bear Den drives to the basket, what you're going to see
Mm-hmm.
is just a moment here. When Bear Den drives to the basket, what you'll see is explosiveness, like a full head of steam. You'll
Mm-hmm.
see them take a linear path. They charge straight forward. They have few dribbles, few or no fakes at all. It's almost like they have no regard for the defense. They're not trying to break the defense down. They've decided to go and they're just going to go.
Mm-hmm.
They will rely either on speed or quickness or power or surprise rather than craftiness with the dribble.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a swift cutting sword, very decisive. Our other
Yes.
Bear Den exponent will show us that a little. Zach Carter. Here's Zach in the dark t-shirt. Interesting thing about Bear Den is these setups can come from a variety of different places. Unlike Jen Core, who has their favorite shots,
Yeah.
you can set someone up on any spot on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
There's that
Great.
explosiveness,
So,
linear path.
yeah.
Now he's on the opposite side of the floor. Sets
Mhm.
up the shot from the elbow. Look at this. When he started dribbling, he knew where he was going. It wasn't reading and reacting to the defender. He knew where he was going and he took that shot. Just get to the elbow, pull up for the shot. That's Bear Den. Open shot is there. He takes it. Now he's set up from the left side this time in the 3-point shot box. Linear path to the basket, straightforward, few dribbles.
Now, when he played with the tougher defender like Jazre, he
Mhm.
had to apply different
Yes,
styles, right?
yes, we
Much
saw a
more
little bit of that.
dribbling and going left and right.
Let me show that because that's important to show that point.
Mhm.
Here, Zach is playing against Jazray, tougher defender.
Yep. But interesting thing is that Zach was up here, right?
Yes, yes, he was winning this match.
Hmm.
It's one thing to have a particular style, but it's something different when a defensive player forces you, they won't allow you to do that thing.
Yes.
And so then you have to improvise.
Hmm.
And some styles are better at improvising than others.
Hmm.
The score is 5-1 here. This is early in the match. Jazz Race a little bit quicker on defense, makes it tougher for Zach to get to the basket. But he can hit those 2-pointers. So it's 5-3 now. So Zach took the lead with that one, with that basket. Right there. That's what you were talking about. That's uncharacteristic of Verdin to dribble that much.
But I don't think Jasri was letting him pass. He
Yes, yes.
absolutely mirrored his every
Hmm.
littlest move.
Yes. So sometimes the defender can take you out of your style,
Right.
force you to improvise. See here, much more dribbling. Replay, I'll replay that.
Yes, we saw him play a different style here, didn't we, in
Uh-huh.
this stage of the match?
He's up 9-8 here. Everyone was giving Jansbury a hard time here because
Right.
he's undefeated in this match, and everyone is wondering is this going to be his first loss? Zach is up 9-8. Ten eight.
Zach came close.
Once
Right.
again, look at when he dribbles here, he already knows he's going to get to that spot and take that shot. There was never any question what he was going to do.
Zach.
So now he's up 10-8, and the guys are really coming down hard on Jadway. So you're looking at Verdin versus Swing Rhythm here. And we have two more to cover. We have
Mhm. Yes,
Spencer.
Couture. Yes,
Yes. You
and
want to do which one you want to do
that
first?
one, that one was
Katura?
the best for last.
Katura?
Couture
Okay.
next.
Okay. Okay. This one's a little bit this one's different
Mhm.
because what makes this style what it is not necessarily something they do in terms of displaying basketball skill. It's not how they dribble. It's not how they shoot. It's not a preference for a particular shot or spot on the floor. The Katura is a clever player. They're
It's a
using their mind.
psychological game. Yes.
Yes. And they have a way of, well, the way Spencer does it is he has these two tactics. One of them I call the magic roller coaster, where he gets you on this roller coaster, and the other one is his what I call the Sandman technique.
Mm.
And both of them have to do with what's happening up here in his mind and what he does in the mind of his opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Sandman technique, he puts you to sleep in a sense where you're less alert, you're less intense, and that's when he strikes.
Right.
And he may do this by, and this you can see, but you don't know what's happening unless you understand Katura.
Mm-hmm.
He slows the game down. He did this against Ashton the first time they played. Towards the end of that match, he slowed the game down. So it's match point. Of course, Ashton is going to play intense defense because he doesn't want him to score this last basket. But Spencer took so long with that possession that Ashton loses his intensity over time. Anyone would, and that's when he hit that shot that shocked everyone. And so with that Sandman technique, he sort of has this way of making you lose your edge by
Mm-hmm.
slowing the game
Yes.
down. And then he strikes. Then he strikes. The magic roller coaster is kind of funny because he has this way of elevating the tension and the hype in a match and drawing you into that where you're not familiar. He's familiar. He can function in that. For a
Yes.
lot of players, it takes them out of their element. And
Exactly.
so maybe you're angrier than you normally would be when you're playing against him. He's talking trash or whatever. He gets you emotionally in a place where you're not used to playing. As I
So
said, he's comfortable playing there. He can play at that high level. But other players, for them, it's just a disturbance of their inner peace, you might say. But he
yes.
thrives there, and
Yes.
doesn't always work. But when it does work, it can be.
And you
It can be.
said the famous players who had this style?
Yes, famous players who had this style are Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Dennis Rodman.
Mm-hmm.
You might not think Dennis Rodman belongs in that group, but when you understand Katura, you can see he absolutely does. Dennis Rodman had this way of occupying his opponent's attention so
Yeah,
that
getting
by
under their skin.
yes, getting under their skin, annoying them to the point where they're ready to fight him. They've forgotten all about the contest, the game they're playing. The whole context just changes. It becomes about getting this guy, getting back at him. And he
Yes.
did it numerous times to different players. And
Right.
so with that Katura
And in
style,
one even more dangerous that style.
yes,
Right.
yes, yes,
When they get
yes.
you. Mhm.
With I'll give you a story about Larry Bird that shows
Mhm.
this. He was about to compete in the 3-point shooting contest. Before the contest, he walks into the locker room where all the other contestants are, the other guys who are going to compete against him. And he said, I just want to let you all know you all are competing for second place because I'm going to take first place. Now
Spencer
look at
saw this style.
yes,
So
yes. So look at how he changes the context here. It's not about winning the 3-point contest anymore. It's about proving this guy wrong. You
Yes,
said you're going to be first. No, I'm going to be first. That becomes the objective. So
yes,
Larry Bird is shooting for the win. You're shooting to prove Larry Bird wrong. So
yes.
he's already gotten in your head.
And,
That
and
type of thing.
Spencer posted in the chat before this day that you're playing
Mhm.
here. He said he's gonna win
Yes,
all his
he
matches.
sure did.
And what did he do?
He sure did. And he won them all too. Won all of his
Absolutely.
matches that day. So in this particular match, Cody is on a 2-game winning streak. He's challenging Spencer for first place. So Cody wanted this match. He called Spencer out because if he beats Spencer, he has a better shot at taking first place in Fort Worth. That's the context here. So already there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of tension, and you can hear the announcers in the background. They're playing up this hype. They're creating the perfect environment for Spencer. He has
Yes,
this way of rising to the occasion. He plays well under that kind of pressure. He has this way of elevating his game to meet the moment.
yes.
And in fact, it was in this match that Spencer hits the first 4-pointer in Rimpage
Yes.
history. Look at him. You could see his intensity, his competitiveness. That's one thing I really appreciate about Spencer is that competitiveness that he brings to our matches. And so all of his games have this level of excitement. Um, see that? See that? Antics like that get under your skin.
Yes, yes. And where some other players, we never see them display any emotions. With
Look,
Spencer, we see the range of
yes,
things on
yes.
display. Yeah.
And look at his body language right here. Look at Spencer's body language. Like he is into this. He's all about it. He's ready for this level of competition. High level of confidence. But this was an important match. This is for the #1 ranking in the city of Fort Worth.
Mhm.
Spencer has it. Cody wants it. These are the very first half court 4-point shots that any Rimpage player has
I think
taken.
the third attempt was the one that
I think
went.
this is it. I think
Yeah,
this is it right here.
right.
Now, this, you got to wonder how much of all of that yelling and all of that hype is getting to Cody as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is he used to playing under that kind of pressure?
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. That's it. So that's Katura. It's more of the game is in their mind. The
Yes.
game is in the
Yes.
mind for them.
Definitely.
See how he's interacting? You see this? This type is so aware of the moment, everything that's happening in the moment. They hear the crowd, they hear their the person in front of them who might be talking trash. They're so aware of the
Mhm.
moment.
Mhm. And that is really good to be, that's an advantage to be able
Yes,
to
yes,
to play in that kind of an environment because you
yes.
will be playing against the crowd sometimes.
Right,
Yes,
right.
yes,
So can you come up with a big play?
yes. He certainly did on this day.
Yes, it's so
Right.
interesting to see how he took control of this match. Ooh.
And he goes, he was on fire. He was on fire.
He's a big playmaker. Look at this, how he's engaging with
Yeah.
everyone.
And this is the thing. This is how he got Ashton that time, right?
Yes,
At the
yes,
precisely right moment. This is a great pairing. Can we see
yes,
the
it is.
razor? Can
Are
we
you
see the
ready?
razor? Yes,
Here
please.
we go. Here we go. The playing style of the guy who is the #1 ranked player in the whole league is called Razor. And before he gets started, because he gets started early in this match,
Yes.
what characterizes the Razor style is just like Katura is in tune with the moment, Razor is in tune with the guy in front of him.
Mm.
He's going to mesmerize you. He's going to break you down with the dribble. He's going to fake you. He's going to roll your ankles. It's all about, he's going to get you up in the air with pump fakes. He's doing it to you. He's gonna,
Right.
so like Jen
Right.
Cora doesn't care who's in front of him. He's going to the
Exactly.
basket. But with
Exactly.
Razor, it's all about, it's him in a dance with his defender.
Yes.
So it's the
Mm.
ball handling skill.
Mm.
He's going to put the ball on the floor and break you down. He's going to make something happen off the dribble. Right.
If you fall over.
that's that's Razor.
Right.
Superb ball handling skills. No, you can treat yourself to his ball handling skill. right there. The hesitation dribble made it look like he was going to shoot a shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's tricking you. It's
Yes,
wizardry.
it
It's
is with
mesmerizing you with a flurry of dribbles through the legs.
it.
It can be intimidating to even guard a guy like that because you
Yes,
don't want to get embarrassed.
yes.
So they look at this. Woo!
Absolutely
It's
wild,
dazzling.
dazzling, absolute. Look, wow.
Oh, do you see how he froze Eric? He
Yes,
froze him in that
it was
spot.
Eric, right?
Right here. He just
That's,
freezes him.
yes,
So
that,
while Ashton is gone, he doesn't react.
yeah.
Look at that. So high energy. Racer
Hmm.
is high energy.
Yes,
They're giving you a lot to process in terms of sensory processing. That the ball is all over the place, including through your legs.
often.
Often, yes. Yes. There are times when Ashton will drive to the basket and pull it back, and he'll leave you under the basket. He's at the 2 point line, about to
Yes.
take a 2 pointer. He's left his defender at the basket or under the basket. So one of the things that makes him so effective is
Hmm.
he makes his opponent aware of the possibility that he could be embarrassed. And
Yes.
so you're
Yes.
playing to not get embarrassed.
Yes. And another thing, Patrick, this style is the most entertaining to watch.
Mm. Yes, yes.
I keep on saying it before I knew what the style was. It
Hmm.
is absolutely the most entertaining.
It's a treat. When you can do
Yes.
it well, oh, it's a treat to watch.
Hmm.
So when you see Ashton play, look for the unexpected. He's a crowd pleaser. He's an entertainer. He might take a 3 pointer and do a backflip while it's going to the
Yes.
basket.
Yes. He likely
Um,
will do something unusual.
yes.
That
Or
makes it even more exciting to watch
yes,
because you don't know
yes.
what he's going to do next.
Hmm. Look for defensive intensity.
Oh, yes.
Um,
The way that he defends and on big points, that's
yes,
amazing.
yes, yes, yes. Look
Second to
for
none, really, when he is determined.
yes. Look for a
And
lot
he's
of
always,
competitiveness,
yes.
and he's gonna have fun.
Oh, yes.
He's gonna
I
have
think that is
fun.
what is most fun to watch, is because he's enjoying his game.
Yes,
He
yes,
really is playing.
yes.
Yes.
Mm.
A lot of his personality is on show as well, which
Yes,
is not
yes.
not the case with Jin Cora played
Right,
the
that's
guy. Like,
true.
yes,
That's true.
Obed and like they really keep to themselves.
Hmm. In the acting industry or in story writing in general, they learn how to make you care about the main character. Have you ever
Mhm.
noticed that? There's
Yes.
never a mistake as to who you should be
Oh,
caring about, who
yes,
you should be
absolutely.
rooting for. They
Yes.
know how to do that, how to make you, of all the characters, how to make you care about the well-being and the welfare of this one particular character. Ashton has a way of doing that. He has a way of making himself seem like the main character,
Yes.
like it's his story.
And I think a lot of that is in displaying exactly how he feels. If he doesn't go in, he
Right. You're
shows how
right.
he
You're
feels, right?
right.
So we go through these emotions with him.
Yes. You're right. And he gives you maximum effort as well.
Absolutely. He doesn't give up on shots. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't give up on games. He doesn't,
Yes. Yes.
no
Like
matter how
he
tired he is, he really pushes himself to the limit to play his game. Yeah, he gives 100%.
Yeah. You're so right. He doesn't give up on games. I've seen a couple of times where guys had match point, and he will not let them get that last point.
It's no coincidence he is number one and for so long.
Yes, yes, yes. So we will see.
Can
That's the matches
Couture
there.
style player gets to him
Yes.
second time?
Yes. Show that.
You want to show us that?
Yes.
A bit of that
Yes.
match? Go ahead. But I
Yeah.
was just going to say, do you want to show us the website?
Yes. Yes. So here
Perfect.
is the webpage for the Dicas Pro, where you can learn all about this event that's coming up, live pay-per-view, August 27th. We have another match. One of those 4 matches will be played on the 9th of September. That's going to be Chris Lee versus Chris Jalbert. But the best in Rimpage will battle for their city, for ranking, for glory. The main event match, right here, Ashton versus Spencer. And we have the story of that first match.
Look at that.
Ashton was undefeated. And that did it. That was Ashton's first loss. 12-11. Spencer made a big play.
Yep. Spencer's not afraid of the challenge. He's not afraid of the game. Psychologically, he has that edge, definitely.
Yes.
But Ashton has got the determination. Yes, he's got the confidence. Ashton's got the grit. Ashton doesn't want to give up that game. So,
ooh, this is going to be quite a match.
That's true. That's for sure.
That's going to be quite a match. I think the key to that victory for Ashton will be not letting Spencer get in his head and not getting, not falling victim to the moment, letting the hype get to him, but play his game. Also, you'll notice
what does Spencer needs to do to win?
For Spencer, he's got to get into Ashton's head. That's what he did the first match. He's got to get in his head. He called a lot of fouls. There was some arguing back and forth, and it really took Ashton out of his game. Like we said, he likes to have fun. It wasn't fun anymore.
Wasn't fun.
And then Spencer had match point. Ashton played very intense defense, but Spencer dragged that possession out so long that you lose the intensity over time. You can't maintain it for too long. So on the site, we have information about each match. Ashton showcasing, look at this, who would expect him to do that? That's what I said. When you watch Ashton, look for the unexpected. He's gonna
you want a show? He's going to give you a show.
He's going to give
very,
you a show.
very well executed.
Yes, a lot of skill.
And
then Spencer's.
Wow.
And we're going to have a preview for each of the matches. These are the undercard matches, Marcus versus Keyshawn. We're going to have all the matches there and the time. So you can go to this site, you can purchase your ticket there. One ticket gives you access to all the matches. Rimpage's first Dicas Pro, you'll get to see these styles go head to head. In this one, you're going to see Bear Den versus Swing Rhythm. And Ashton, you're going to see Ashton's match. You're going to see Razor versus Katura. It's going to be fun to watch. History. This is history being made right here. The very first Dicas Pro for Rimpage, where our top athletes go head to head. So again, go to rimpage.club/Dicas Pro and get your ticket.
Very little time left to get the early bird price as well, because you don't want to miss this. Yes, four matches for $15.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
Show them your support. If you are their friend or family member, show them your support because they need you to be in their corner. They need to know you are supporting them. They are doing this because this is their dream.
yes. This
Yes.
main event is Dallas versus Fort Worth. So,
And they are
City of
good.
Dallas,
They
City of
are
Fort
good.
Worth, they are.
They're worth
Yeah,
your money.
yeah. Great story
Absolutely.
here.
Hmm.
Great story. I can't call it. I can't say who's going to win.
You cannot call
There's
it. Yep.
the one factor is there was no 4 point shot. There was no shot box the first time they played. Since we've added that shot box, Ashton has really incorporated that into his game, and so
Right.
he has knockout power. Ashton can
Hmm.
finish a match in 3 rounds. If you let
Yes.
him take that shot, he can
If you
drain
let
it.
him
So
take it. Yes.
right. So we'll see how Spencer defends it. He's
Yes.
got to take away that 4 point shot, or this could be over really
Very.
early.
I think we need to analyze that game as well. Like what could happen.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
We're gonna have a round
Um,
table. We'll get some of our players to join us for
I
that
like that.
conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd also love to hear from our players who have played against these two, their
Right.
experience. What is it
Their
like playing
perspective.
against Ashton? What is
Yes.
it like playing against Spencer? Get
Yes.
their perspective and get their predictions as well.
That's it. I think we need all of their predictions.
I
Mhm.
love it. Katerina, it is delightful doing this with you. Thank you so much for joining me. You make it so much more fun. It's fun already. You just elevate it and make it more fun.
You're welcome, King Patrick.
You like my crown?
Love it.
That's there for a reason. No ego there, no ego. But do pay attention. No, I love Rimpage. I love our players. I'm so excited
Me
about
too.
this.
Me
So
too.
excited.
Yes.
And thank you all for joining us. So, hey, chime in the Facebook group. Let me know your predictions. Let me know your thoughts about the different styles. Which one is your favorite?
Mhm. And have you
And let
got the
us know.
ticket? Tell us. Tell us if you have already got the
Yes.
ticket. We
Let
want
us know
to.
if you have your ticket.
Yes. Yes.
Let us know your
We might
ticket.
have a surprise for you. What if you were the first
Mm.
one to get that ticket?
Ooh. Yes, something like maybe helping you with your watch party, buying
Hmm.
the snacks for your
Yes.
watch party. It's something
Yes.
like that, maybe.
Something like that, maybe.
But do let us know. Do let us know. All right.
Good fun.
Well,
Take care.
thank you. Take care.
Yes.